Hi, welcome to Infusion Health, the podcast, and I'm comedian Cris Patrick, a.k.a. self-proclaimed Power Man, and I'm here with my co-host and significant other, Rach.
Hey, guys.
Now, today we got an interesting show. This is like the hottest new thing that's been coming around called cryotherapy. What it is you sit in like a chamber. It gets, I'm not sure how cold it gets.
Yeah,
but
we'll talk about it.
it gets pretty cold, and we got a cryotherapist technician on here. Her name is Katie Etzvold, and she works at Restore Hypo Wellness in Woodbury, Minnesota, and she's calling from our local state. She's calling from the great city of Woodbury, Minnesota. Katie, welcome to the show.
Hello.
hello. So cryotherapy. Now, this is the new thing. A lot of places a lot of stores are popping up all around the country and
well,
stuff.
let's talk about her store first, and then we'll talk quickly about the cryo.
Okay. Well, how'd you get into this? And like Rach said, let's talk about your story. Katie?
Awesome. Yes. Oh, hello.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit about Restore in general. So we are a franchise based originally in Austin, Texas, back in 2015.
Okay.
We have been in Woodbury, Minnesota since 2019.
Okay.
And cryotherapy has taken off for about the last 5 years or so. It's been around for as long as cold therapy can have been around, 400 years, but really became super popular in the last 5 years. How I got into it, I've always been an athlete. We take in a lot of athletes, and I one day just kind of stumbled in there, looking for some recovery services. Didn't want to go the Western medicine route of taking medicine and doing steroids and all those fun things to help with those muscle recovery. And so I just kind of stumbled in one day and realized I really, really love the benefits of cryotherapy and kind of everything else that's going on in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you were an athlete. What kind of athlete were you?
I was a swimmer all my life.
Okay, swimmer. Yeah. Okay. So you were a swimmer, and then you got involved in this. Like you said, you didn't want to go the Western route, so you looked at things and you found this. Now, what exactly is this? You get in the chamber and explain to the listeners what this is. You get in the chamber, and this chamber gets cold, freezing cold, and explain.
Yeah, exactly. So how cryotherapy works, we have a variety of different machines at Restore Hypo Wellness, but the one that we specifically have here in Woodbury is called a cryoscience machine. It uses nitrogen gas actually to cool the chamber. So everything you come in contact in there is cooled air vapor. Mm-hmm. And so how it works is you have anywhere from 2.5 to 3 minutes to get in the chamber and be in there. We set the setting depending on your temperature going in and coming out. So for everybody, we start off at the beginning temp of negative 166 Fahrenheit for 2.5 minutes.
Okay, so negative 166. Now, when you said you get in the machine, you get your whole body in the machine. Is your head sticking out, or is everything inside there?
So your whole body goes in the machine, actually, yeah.
Okay.
So it looks like a giant fridge almost. It's got a big magnetic door. We have a cryotherapy technician that helps you the whole time that you're in there. So they open the door for you. You jump inside. We do have a window, but you can be in there completely enclosed with the door shut and the window up. That's normally preferred. But, for those clients that are claustrophobic, the window does help to kind of mitigate that fear of feeling like you're stuck in a tight space.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And the way
Rach just went through it. So
I've went through it a couple of times. So the way you're dressed, it's like in your skitties, and you
Underwear.
have to wear the gloves and you have to wear the socks.
Yeah. So for our proper protection equipment that you wear in the machine is for women, it is a pair of our snazzy socks, slippers. No metal on the body, and then we have bathrobes and towels that you can use to wrap up, and then the gloves as well. You have to keep those extremities covered, obviously, because those are the first thing that are going to get cold because your body's going in that flight or fight effect. All that blood is running to your core, so we want to keep those toes and fingers especially warm. For our male clients, we also ask that you wear compression shorts or kind of underwear or whatever you got going on underneath there, so nothing else freezes that we don't want to freeze.
Yeah.
So exactly. So,
yeah.
So when you go in there and it gets cold and stuff like that, you're not exactly being exposed to the what's the nitrogen, are you?
No, exactly. So everything that comes in contact is cooled air vapor. In some of the older machines, when cryotherapy first came out, it did have nitrogen tanks where it was like, don't go below a level. You could see it, and it was like if you duck down, there's a chance of you inhaling this nitrogen gas, and people could pass out. We do not have that machine, and honestly, I think most of them are pretty retired at this point because we have come out with this technology that we can just cool the air vapor around you, so it is 100%.
Okay, so let's walk me through it. I'm okay, you're a swimmer or whatever, or you're a runner or whatever you do, and all of a sudden you get like a real bad cramp, like say like in your hamstring.
Well, I don't think you even need to be so much an athlete. I enjoy it because I have inflammation in my legs.
Okay, so when you go in there and you get the treatment, how do you feel after the treatment?
So you're going to have a couple of different feelings afterwards. One of the most noticeable and most immediate feelings would be kind of like this endorphin rush that you get because your body is put into this fight or flight effect. So when you come out, you're going to feel actually kind of an energy rush, which most clients love. It's one of my favorite parts of the job. People come out and they're all jazzed and they're like, "Woo, that was a rush, that was fun." Mm-hmm. So you do get that energy rush, but you're also immediately going to get that reducing of that inflammation from having that blood flow, that circulation, just from all the blood going to your core, running back to your limbs when you get out. A couple of the other benefits too, and it's kind of like what Rach was saying, it's not just for athletes. One of the things that Restore really promotes is just doing more for everybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, we take in a lot of athletes, we take in a lot of people that work out and kind of have that health mindset, but we also take in, older clients or people that are just like, I want to be better, I want to be healthier, I want to be able to do more in my life, whatever that is. So it's really just helping people promote that, healthy circulation, reducing of that inflammation. Metabolism boost can be in effect too because you're warming your core temperature back up throughout the day. You can burn about 300 to 500 more calories. It also helps with circadian rhythm. That's one I really noticed for myself in general. It really helps with my sleep. So that is another benefit as well.
Yeah, I don't need any help with sleep.
I do.
Yeah.
But you said cryotherapy. You said cryotherapy has been around for a while. Can you take us back how it actually got started and what's different from then up until today?
Yeah, well, it's kind of just what I was talking about earlier about. Cold therapy in general. As long as humans could jump into cold lakes, cold therapy has been around. So about 400 years, actually, which is kind of crazy when you think about the insanity of humans doing this to themselves. But cryotherapy in general has been around, especially for the last about decade, maybe even 15, 20 years. We have used nitrogen gas chambers, like I said, and most recently have just switched to electric or these cooled air vapor using nitrogen gas. And those are the most recent used therapies for cold therapy nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Now, beginners start at what temp, and more advanced people start can go all the way to what, 240 was it?
So negative 220 is the coldest temperature that we have on our machine. Most of the time, the people that are going to be using our machine at the quote unquote cryo pro level are going to be usually adult males that their body temperature on their external leg temp are around 85, or people that have just been doing cryotherapy for a minute and their body has adapted to it. So it really varies on, your sex, your level of fitness, your metabolism, especially because obviously that's what keeps us warm, and then just how your body has adapted to the cryo. So the machine itself goes from anywhere from negative 166 to negative 220.
Okay.
So when you first start, you don't go in there for 3 minutes. When if I was just going to walk in there today, going, hey, I want to try this, would you recommend going 3 minutes or a minute and a half?
So everybody starts out at the beginner temp of negative 166 and 2.5 minutes. Once you hit the range there, so what we do kind of like walk you through how we decide what is your best temp is we take your temperature right away on the back of your leg, on your calf, your external leg temp, just to see where you're at. Women are going to be around 80, men are going to be closer to 85. And then, like I said, it's going to vary based on your metabolism, your activity level, so on and so forth, your age. So no matter who you are, you go in at the beginning level for the shortest amount of time. When you come out of there, say you are not getting that 20-degree drop. Ideally, we want people around 45 to 55 on their external leg temp coming out. And say if you're up in like 60, 65, which is pretty normal for, you put a 20-year-old athletic male in there, he's going to be probably a little bit warmer. Then what we do is we extend the time. We always extend the time and then drop the temp. So next time we would come in, we would say, all right, you're going to come in, do it at our intermediate or do it at our beginner setting, still at -126 for 3 minutes. If you're still hitting that, then we would drop the temp to -184 and then extend the time, so on and so forth like that.
Okay, so how often should one get cryotherapy? Once a week, twice a week, 4 times a week? How many times?
So ideally, cryotherapy can be done daily. Now, I know most people don't have the time commitment, as funny as like a 2 to 3 minute service, sounds. But as long as you're doing it about 2 to 3 times a week, you will see some kind of improvement in your life, whether that's, helping with that flush of circulation and reducing of that inflammation. But 2 to 3 times a week is really, really ideal.
So Cris was saying, Rachel, don't you wish it was wintertime so you could just go outside? It's a different experience than that, right?
Yeah. It's so funny you say that because we really do see an influx. In the summer, everybody's like, oh, cryotherapy, I've got to stay up on this. And then in the winter, it dips down a little bit. They're like, we live in Minnesota. We don't need it. But the beauty of cryotherapy is just getting that intense shock to the system. So when you go outside, it's never going to be -166. At least I hope not, And so putting yourself in that temperature outside, getting that wind chill is not going to give you the same effect. When you use cryotherapy using that nitrogen cooled air vapor, you're shocking the system so fast on a cellular level. So it is really shocking your body. It's like we have ice baths, we have ice packs and everything. That's going to hit you a lot more subdermally or superficially compared to cryotherapy, which is going to be hitting you subdermally. So you're getting that quick, intense shock to the system, which is really starting that fight or flight effect, which is what we want.
So I'm saying, so like I was saying before, so say you're doing something and you get you pull like a muscle in like your back hamstring. I go and get the cryotherapy. I'm in there for 10 minutes. Is that going to take away that pulled muscle?
10 minutes? No.
Well, at 3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
So we'll see some reducing of that inflammation, and that will help with the pain. Now, it's kind of like drinking water. I'd love to say if you drink 1 cup of water a day, that you're going to be fine tomorrow and the next day you're not going to feel dehydrated. But you have to maintain on those benefits. So if you come in, say, 2 or 3 times in that week for that pulled hamstring, you will notice a difference in that pain and that inflammation and the recovery speed of recovery on that, pulled hamstring. It will speed up the process quite a bit compared to just letting it try to heal naturally.
And that's the thing too, because like I've said, I've seen this stuff before, and like you said, it's been around for a while, but one of the things is too is that when you have this pain, and like we just did one with somebody with talking about chronic pain, and something like this may help you, just going in there and seeing it, but is there like an intro thing to do, or like a beginning thing to do or something like that?
What do you mean a beginning thing to do?
Before you step in or what?
No, not before you step in, but is it like to try it out first, do the minute or do the 2 minutes or whatever?
So
like a free trial just to kind of see how it goes. Yes, we one thing that we love to do for our clients, especially brand new people, to restore, because a lot of people see the name and they're like, what is that? Even if they hear cryotherapy, they're like, what is that? A lot of times we love to get people in and just try one session because you do feel an immediate relief. Like I said, you get that endorphin rush, you feel jazzed. It will reduce some swelling. For more serious injuries and stuff like that, it's not going to cure it right away. Obviously, I wish it did, but it doesn't. But just getting people kind of introduced to that cryotherapy is a big part of what we do to kind of like teach them about these alternative therapies. So absolutely.
And what's the oldest person you've had go in there?
Oh man, let's see. I did have a client that was, I want to say close to their like late 70s.
Okay.
And he loved it. He had been a big sufferer of arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. Just beating his body up over the years and whatever the case may be.
Yes.
And he loved cryotherapy.
How often do you see him?
What was that?
How often do you see him? He's asked.
He used to come in quite a bit. He came in probably like once or twice a week, just to kind of get that mitigation of that pain, especially in his knees, all those joint areas. But he really loved it. He doesn't come in that much anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, he really loved it when he did come in about 2 times a week.
Mm-hmm. And that's it sounds interesting. It makes me, because I took Rach in there the other day, and I saw and I was like, yeah, I'd like to go in it, but didn't have the time or the money. Is it is it cost effective?
So compared to a lot of places, yes. But that's kind of the beauty of the store, is we have so many different modalities under one roof that we are able to give it a better price tag than most places that just simply do cryotherapy or some of these other services.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I will admit, coming in and having to spend, like $39 a session, that can be out of people's price range. I totally get that. But compared to some other places on the market, yes, it is a lot more affordable.
Mm-mm. So how is this different from like, I know this isn't true, but some people say that Walt Disney, they took Walt Disney's body and froze his body. And that's a new thing too with people dying. Some people want their bodies frozen or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be honest, I don't have a lot of science on the background of freezing your body for long-term life expectancy there. But I do know at Restore that every service that we provide has a team of scientists that do studies behind everything we have in store to disprove that these are certified, not pseudoscience services. I wish I could say that I know how that works for Walt Disney and whatnot, but to be honest, I just do not know the science behind that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have to say, me experiencing it, the first time I looked at this chamber and I was like, what is this thing? But, if you're game, especially if you're trying to find something in the holistic world, it looks like a big, huge, what do I want to call it? One of those stand-up showers almost, but it's completely blocked in. But yeah, the first time I tried it afterwards, it was just, you get that energy feeling, and my swelling of my legs weren't as intense the next couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely. We get, anything involving swelling, the best thing that we can do for our body is just getting rid of that inflammation. So if you start with that, you're pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So like also too, does this burn calories at all?
Yes. So not many people use it for that exactly, like metabolism boost, but having your body go under such a cold shock there for those 2.5 to 3 minutes will assist sometimes with that metabolism boost, because your body needs to warm itself back up. Obviously, the metabolism is what keeps us warm throughout the day. Mm-hmm. So if your metabolism is running harder, you are going to be burning more calories. So, around 300 to 500 more calories a day, just getting your core temperature back up from, that intense drop that it goes through.
So it like freezes up your, not your arteries, but freezes up. And then when you, I wanted to say thaw out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Your body likes to be at that, that homeostasis state of where it's sitting around, 98.6 degrees. So when your body goes from, 85 on that external leg temp, and then it's down to, anywhere from 45 to 55, your body's got to work a little bit harder throughout the day to get you a little warmer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I've noticed that too. Like, like in the wintertime, well, I'm going through allergy seasons right now, but I noticed too in the wintertime that sometimes sometimes being out in the cold and stuff like that does help a little bit with cold therapy, with helping the body. But also too is that I found out too is that somebody said a lot of people drink water, in the summertime because it's hot and all that, but it's very important to get water too in the wintertime too.
Yes, absolutely. It can be pretty dehydrating for, it's a lot more of a dry environment for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Rach, like Rach said, how many sessions have you had, Rach?
Now 3.
3, and then is this something you're going to continue? You're going to continue to do, or?
Absolutely, yeah. Just what it does for the inflammation alone.
And that helped. So how did you get into it, Rachel? Did a doctor recommend it, or
here's the problem with Western and Eastern: they haven't met each other yet. So no doctor has done that.
Well, I think you're right. They haven't met each other yet, but I think there's a lot of people in the way of having them meet.
Yeah. So, just like this podcast is about trying to bring the two together, I think there's a lot of people that are trying to pair the two together these days. I think there's a lot of doctors that are forward facing and trying to look at what other things can help a person through inflammation, pain, that kind of stuff. But no doctor suggested this for me. I actually was watching a TikTok video, and they were talking about the cryo, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is like really cool, and I ought to try it because the swelling has gotten really impossible, almost to the point where I need surgery again. And in truth, I'm scared of surgery because the first time I had the surgery, I got neuropathy.
Yeah.
And so to find out that there was other alternatives besides just, the herbs, minerals, vitamins, other things, I've even tried cupping before. So it was another thing that I could try to help myself.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people try to use a lot of our services, especially cryotherapy, to, kind of avoid, those more serious fixes for things like surgery, or to help, after you get surgery and everything like that. I absolutely love cryotherapy for those physical changes that it can help with the body. And it's actually interesting you say that, just kind of asking if you were recommended by a doctor. I actually just recently had a client that came in that was recommended by a therapist, actually, to come in and use cryotherapy to assist with PTSD symptoms.
Okay.
Because it puts the body in that fight or flight effect, like I'm talking about, putting it under, putting your, neurological system under that stress in a controlled environment can actually be a tool to help mitigate some of those stress responses that your body comes into contact after you kind of mess up your nervous system a little bit with a PTSD episode. So,
what about things with like depression or something like that? Would that help with that too, or?
I wouldn't necessarily say depression. It's really just about putting your body under that, physical stress response.
I would think, here's what you fail to understand with PTSD and panic attacks. Your body in a state of fight or flight, and you go internally and you're having problems breathing. So I don't think this would per se help with depression, but absolutely with PTSD or there's panic attacks.
Well, so Katie, so here I am. Okay, I look at this. I work out or whatever. I look at this. I'm like, oh man, I'm in this pain. I'm gonna go get cryotherapy. So I go to cryotherapy. And what would you recommend? Would you recommend to start out with 3 sessions, 1 session, 2 sessions, half a session? What would you recommend?
I would normally recommend that anytime after a really strenuous workout, a hard game, like a lot of our athletes, we get student athletes all the time that come in that absolutely thrash themselves after a hard practice or a hard game or whatever the case may be. Anytime doing something where you're physically straining your body in any which way, come in that day or next day, anything like that. when you're doing your regular life and everything like that, yes, it's important to maintain on cryotherapy, especially if you want to get it for its max benefit. But especially anytime that you're putting yourself under a little bit extra stress, getting a little bit more of that inflammation in the body and all of that, come in then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So would you recommend 3 sessions to start out with, or 1 session, or?
I would definitely recommend at least 5, doing it like twice a week for 2 weeks, if, at the minimum, to kind of see those benefits start to kick in for sure.
Yeah, to get you, and plus to get your body used to it.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Because it takes about 5 sessions for your body to really hit where it needs to be, for like finding the right setting for you. The first time or the first 2 times, we're still going to be adjusting your settings to see how long and at what temperature you need to be in to be getting you into that range of 45 to 55.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I got a friend, a fellow comedian guy by the name of KJ. He told me he takes cold showers all year round. And I said, "You take cold showers?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, it's really, really good for your body. But of course, you can't just go today and just hop into a cold shower. You got to slowly lighten the temperature, make it colder and colder as you go to get your body used to being in the cold.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say, I am a person, I could not, if you told me to get into an ice bath, I would refuse. I do cryotherapy at the coldest setting possible, but if you said ice bath, I'm not your girl. That was the hard.
And I think that people also need to understand that your shower on the coldest setting isn't at the temperature that cryo does.
Yeah, and it's hitting you really superficially. I mean, it's going to be intense on your skin, it's going to be intense on your muscles, but it is not getting that, effect cellularly in your body that you do when you get that cold shock of negative 166 and negative 20 or negative 200.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to our listeners out there, the name of the place is called Restore Hyper Wellness. They're in Woodbury, Minnesota. I'm pretty. You can Google them. Her name is Katie Etzvold. And Katie, if there's any way people want to get a hold of you or people want to try the store, like I said, they can Google it and stuff like that. But do you got other information out there, website or whatever they can go to?
Yes, we do have a website. If you look up Restore Hyper Wellness, Woodbury, Minnesota, you will find us. We're also on Facebook and social media under Restore Hyper Wellness, actually RHW_Woodbury MN. You can find us on there. We're very active on all of our social medias and our website. You can always get our phone number off Google as well. And we always love introducing people to our therapies. So yeah, call or walk in anytime.
And if you're any kind of an athlete out there, you definitely want to, or like they said, PTSD, you definitely want
pain.
Or pain. You definitely want to get out there and give this a try.
Yep, absolutely.
And like she said before, it's very cost effective. And does insurance cover this or
no?
Oh,
so we don't, but we do take FSA and HSA.
Okay. So yeah, they somewhat insurance covers this. HSA and SSA covers that. So you definitely want to get out there and try. Like you said, they got the website, and Rachel will have links to the website and all that on our
description.
On our description. So you definitely want to give this a try. And hey, even if you just got to go out there and try it once, you definitely want to try it.
Yeah, definitely try it once.
Yeah, it's a good date night activity. We get a lot of couples that come in, and you get to pick a song while you're in there. You can pick a song for your significant other and make it a fun.
That sounds fun.
It is funny. It is. Yeah, it is so much fun watching couples go through it or friends go through it, because there's always that one friend that is way more excited about it and that one that is not. Mm-hmm. But it's usually the one that's all hyped up that comes out and is like, "Oh my God, it was so cool!" So, and then there's the calmer one. So yeah, it's such a great joy. I really love introducing people to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Katie, thanks a lot for joining us on this podcast. And you definitely, like I said, check it out and go to the website, and you definitely want to check it out. And I'll let Rachel close us out.
All right, you guys. History is born on lines of hate, and here we're trying to build lives of love and make you guys your best advocate, even in the cryo. Have a great one.